Welcome to Patras 53 on the route, and today we're on special place Django Fest Northwest, 10 years anniversary, so that's special. But most special, of course, is the year of 100-year anniversary of Django Reinhardt. So I'm here with Robin Nolan. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
Thanks for sitting with me, and tell us a bit about how did you get involved into the gypsy genre? When and how did you fall in love with that beautiful music?
Well, I was brought up basically with rock and roll and pop music and Beatles and Stones and then just normal music, you know. And basically what happened was I had a friend who told me about this festival in France, in Samoa, and which was a Django Reinhardt festival. And you know, before the internet and before the kind of, it's not very well publicized or advertised. It was just kind of like this. It was like a rumor. It was like this festival happening somewhere in France, and not sure when, but I think it's the last weekend in June, and it was all pretty vague. But
which year roughly?
Oh, we're talking about 1990.
Okay.
And you know, my dad had records of Django Reinhardt, and I liked that music, but it didn't really relate to me because it was basically dead people, you know. And it was kind of, you know, I was into heavy metal and all that stuff, but I did like it. But actually going there, and when anyone goes there for the first time, or when you see, you know, Django's people, gypsy people, or other people who play the music, when you see it up close, then that's when I fell in love with it. And it was just too romantic. You know, it was the river, there was the caravans, there was the fire, there was and then there was the music on top of that, and it was just intoxicating. And I want to play that kind of music. So then I went home and I kind of tried to look for this kind of guitar, and
so which
tried to do this guitar I'm playing today at Django Fest is made by a guy from Portland called Bob Hollow.
Oh yeah, I'm talking with him later today.
Yeah,
so.
And actually the French guys call him Bobaloo.
Bobaloo.
Bobaloo. And it's a great guitar, and it's very light, and yeah, it's crispy.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit about your passion. I think it's a passion of teaching books and helping people to understand that.
Yeah. For me, that stems from because I'm just like a normal guy coming from, like I say, coming from blues music or whatever, and I'm not a gypsy. You know, I'm not even French. I'm just an English guy. You know, so I wanted to kind of really just relate to people like myself, maybe who didn't even have an education in music and didn't have access to see what's happening with the music. And I wanted to kind of simplify it and make it possible for anyone to play this music, and to try and take out the mystery and I mean, there's a lot of mystique in it, but there's shapes where you put your hands and chords and things you do with the right hand, and then it kind of works, you know. So I wanted just to make it accessible to kind of normal people, you know, and a wider audience. And I did that in the first place with the first book for my brother, you know, because I needed a rhythm guitar player, and he didn't even play guitar, and he was living in another country. So I started writing a few chords out, and then while I was doing that, you know, I had some other friends that, hey, you should write a book and write a few songs out. So that's what I did, and then you know, then it started, and like 10 books later, you know, it became very popular. Yeah, and I'm still doing it now, you know. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about this. You talk about Samoa a bit, but tell us a bit about this festival. What's special? Because you played the first...
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is really special because, you know, for a lot of people living in North America, Paris is a long way to go, and, you know, potentially very expensive. And so this festival happened, like you say, 10 years ago in 2000. And I was friends with Nick Lair, who's the producer of the festival, and we were doing a tour over here with my trio, the Rob Nolan Trio, and it was just kind of a natural conversation of like, hey, you know, because we knew about Samoa, and we just thought, you know, why don't we try and start something in North America? And basically Nick, you know, knew this place, which is Langley, and this theater, which is the Wicker Theater, and thought, hey, this could be a good place. So we started it very simple and very small, and it was just Pearl Django, who were kind of like the pioneers of this music in North America.
Yeah, for sure.
And us, you know, so it was just very simple and small. And yeah, and then 10 years later, there's people coming from all over. It is the Samoa of the Americas, you know, or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, and it's an interesting comparison as well, if you think that Paris as Seattle. Then you got Samoa to Paris as Langley is to Seattle.
And we're on an island.
We're on an island, and
Bigger.
there's loads of trees and there's
Beautiful
water, and
place,
it's
yeah.
kind of like if you had this festival in Seattle, or if you had the Samoa Festival in Paris, it just couldn't be the same, you know.
Yeah.
So it's the beauty of nature, you know, against the music and stuff,
Yeah.
which is it's a real attraction. And now it's just, you know, there's a lot of people here.
And what do you think of the growth? Like, but not just the growth of the festival, but the growth of the genre.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. It's quite amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And there was definitely you know, I remember from 10 years ago, kind of going into the 2000s, you know, it really took off, you know. And I've been playing in countries like Japan,
Yeah.
and all over the place. And there's like a hot club of that town, you know, hot club of Yokohama, hot club of Sapporo,
Tokyo.
hot club of Tokyo,
Yeah.
the Osaka, whatever. And it's like, it's just amazing. And it doesn't matter what country, what people, or what language. There they are. There's the guys. You know, it's the same guys. It's the same guy with, you know, with a guitar, and he's got probably got a Vacon pick, and he's probably got one of my books or something. And then it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's in. So it's like this real. It just connects the whole world. You know, this music, and because it's obviously it's a niche kind of thing. We're not talking about. You know, rock and roll music here, but it kind of makes it even the relationship with the other people even closer.
Tighter, yeah.
So it's saying, I mean, people have formed bands and really close relationships, I think, from coming to this festival and to others around the world.
Sure.
You know? It's a real community, as you know, and you're part of it. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. When you think of Django, what do you think?
I think of a really big person. You know, I think it's beyond a person. I think of I've been touched by Django, and everyone's been in this music been touched by Django, and in a way it's just it gives me it brings a smile to my face, and it makes my heart, it fills me with passion, and I don't think I'd ever get you know, listening to Django, there's always new things to hear, you know. I mean, there's lots of new CDs from lots of incredible people, but if you go back into all the recordings that Django made right up until his death, there's incredible resource of recordings and Rome sessions. The last recording he made in Belgium or whatever, the one with the piano player, and it's like absolutely incredible. The old quintet ones, there's such a amazing. It's just such a huge. It's a big thing, and it's like God or something. It's just like. He's in everything, you know. He's in the strings. He's in the wine.
Paul earlier today he said, "Holy."
It is holy. It's a deity. It's bigger than. And of course, you know, it's like when someone like Borelli, when he eventually goes, or one of these guys, it's like what he'll become kind of like a. But in a way, no one can fill his shoes, because I mean he was a genius obviously at the time on his guitar and changed guitar playing forever, but also invented. A music. I mean, so many people who invent a new music. Yeah. You know, so it's too huge, and in his hugeness, we just try and we're just touched by him and just enjoying his music. But obviously, he was a guy. He was just a guy who was I think quite an eccentric and a pretty funny guy. I think, and I think that comes across in his music too.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Robin, for your time.
Hey, salut.
We were drinking this Chateau Saint-Michel Cabernet from the valley here in Washington.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, Santé.
Keep drinking good wine, good gypsy jazz with good friends.
That's it. That's all there is to life.
Thank you.
Right. Cheers.